I think the idea of getting ahead in your 20s or in life in general is bullshit. We're all on different paths, and who is to say that one is ahead of another? I like to view life as a stock, or nowadays, Bitcoin. It's gonna have a lot of peaks and a lot of dips, and on top of that, everyone's dips and peaks will happen at different times in life. And the goal is not, how can I get to the peak as fast as possible, as early as possible, because that's not realistic. With that being said though, there are things you can do that will set yourself up for success, and there are things that you can do that will set yourself up for failure. Now, I went from a complete loser in my teenage years, smoked cigs, drank alcohol, drugs, McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 300 grams of sugar a day, to 5 years later turning into a completely different person. Someone with completely different standards, values, habits, you name it. And while I am proud of where I am today and the success I've achieved in the past 5 years, I'm still learning a ton, and I'm still in that process of finding a meaningful life. But there's 5 things that really contributed to my success and helped me get ahead in life that we're gonna talk about today. But as a reminder, the goal of getting ahead is not getting ahead of anybody but yourself. Number 1, addition is not possible without subtraction. Imagine you are this cup and the water inside of it is your life. If you're not happy with where you are in life, that might be because you don't have the best water inside of your cup. And the goal would be to get some clean, healthy water for you to drink inside of your cup. But you'll notice if you try to pour clean water into your cup without removing the dirty water, it's still just dirty water and more of it. This means before you can add more to your life, you must subtract. Yet, the subtracting is hard because there's no water in the cup. You enter into what we call a dip. Now, the other side of the dip, when you get to the top, it's amazing, but the process of the dip is worse than where you were before. But this is the only way to get to the top, to get to your next peak in life, by experiencing the shitty part of whatever you're going through. So when you empty your cup, when you get rid of things that don't add value to your life doesn't get better, it gets worse. But you'll slowly start to add clean water to your cup. You'll slowly start to add better things to your life, and before you know it, you'll be at the top of that dip. The first step that I did in my life is I looked at the things that weren't adding value to my life, that the shitty water that might be in my cup, and I removed it. I said, you know what? No time for this. And this was an amazing first step. It was lonely, it was hard, it was difficult, it wasn't fun, but it was the necessary step for me to get clean water into my cup. Number 2, the compound effect. The compound effect is this: small choices plus consistency plus time equals significant results. It's never one big decision that will lead you to a successful life. It's like hundreds of small decisions that you make over the course of years. But we don't want to hear this. We want the easy way. We want the easy one solution that will make you $1 million. But in reality, it's these seemingly insignificant in the moment decisions that will have a domino effect in crazy ways later in life. And these choices are small choices like going to bed on time, eating better food, stop hanging out with John because he's a loser, read 1 page from a book every day. Like, these are seemingly insignificant small things that could have exponential results if done consistently over time.
All day we're presented with hundreds of decisions, and every one of those decisions is like a chisel mark on a slab of marble. And at the end of the day, you're either gonna end up with the David or you're gonna end up with a pile of rubble, depending upon the decisions you've made throughout the day. Every day you lift your head up off the pillow. You're gonna decide whether that day you are a success or whether you are a failure.
I would look at your life and say, what am I doing on a daily basis right now that I know I shouldn't be doing? And whatever that is in your life, start to focus on improving that. Number 3, dedication to one thing. If you wanna get good at something, dedicate your life to it. It's a good rule of thumb. If you dedicate 5 or 10 years to one specific thing, you will become probably an expert at that one thing. And the world needs more experts. We need more people that are really good at one thing and not kind of good at a bunch of things. And for me in my life, my dedication to the one focus, to the one thing, was videography. It's completely okay if you're watching this and you're like, I don't know what I want to dedicate my life to, what the heck? Which is why I encourage you to try things. Like, I would have never have known if I liked videography or not until I actually tried it and picked up a camera and started to learn it. And then I was like, oh wow, I love this. I want to dedicate my life to it, right? So try things. If you don't know what you want to do, step out of your comfort zone, try new things that even seem impossible, because who knows, maybe you are good at it and maybe you'll love it and maybe that's what you want to dedicate your life to. It means you're gonna have to sacrifice other things in your life because your focus and dedication is on this one thing. It's worth it because you hopefully love it and enjoy doing it.
You can do almost everything you want in life, but you can't do it at the same time.
Right.
And if you can just dedicate yourself to one thing for even a year, and then the next thing for a year, you can do those 10 things. But if you try to do all 10 at once, you're gonna be burden's ass. You're gonna be like, should I do this? Should I do this? Or should I focus on this? Or should I focus on this?
Number 4, set high expectations for yourself. If you think about being a mature adult, it's really just being your own parent. My parents used to tell me what time to go to bed and what not to eat. Now I just tell myself the same things. But I think this is a really important skill set to learn because majority of your life, you're not taught this. Your parents tell you what to do, your teachers tell you what to do, your friends tell you what to do, probably. The world, social media tells you what to do. Little do you ever look at your life and you say, like what is the best decision? What are the standards? What are the expectations I wanna set for myself? And what these are will depend upon a lot of things, but you should 100% have a list or a mental note, standards of expectations that you have for yourself that you need to be hitting and achieving. And take this one with a grain of salt, like don't set too high expectations where you feel like a failure all the time. This is really looking at it and saying, you know, I'm gonna take ownership for my life. The last thing, I stopped giving a fuck what people thought about me. Some of you guys may have saw my Shiki Bhutan video. For a long time, and I still sleep on it by the way, but for a long time I was on the floor sleeping on this. Now I have a bed. But I remember doing this and a lot of people were like, dude, that's weird, or like girls are gonna find it weird. And there were some girls that were like, oh, I don't know about this. And I'm like, I don't care. And while in general it is good to care about what people think about you, when you are doing something for your life that benefits your life, you should not give a fuck what people think about it. Do the right thing when in doubt, regardless of what society thinks of it, regardless of what your mom or your grandma thinks of it. I can't tell you how many people said I'd be a failure when I dropped out of college. Like, you know, like it's ridiculous. Yet these decisions like dropping out, like sleeping on a Shiki Bhutan, like, you know, changing my diet a certain way, like all these decisions that I made, I knew for my life that it was the right thing to do regardless of what people thought about me. When you make improvements to your life, people are gonna be like, why? Why are you not going out with us partying anymore? Why are you not drinking at this party? What's going on? People are gonna ask questions to your changes and your improvement, and it's not gonna make sense to them, but that's the necessary step that you have to take. It's difficult. Once again, you'll enter into a dip, but it's okay because the more you do it, the less fucks you'll give.